I have a wonderful reading today from St Teresa of Avila from her book, The Interior Castle. And I'm surprised, actually, to see such a Vedic description of the self here. She talks about the soul and its separation from mind and our inability to have a comprehension of the deep understanding of the soul, which is unchanging and unfleeting, unlike the nature of the mind, which is constantly changing. So let me read this to you. This is quite striking. So we suffer terrible trials because we do not understand ourselves. See, the very quest for the nature of self encapsulated right there. And we worry over what is not bad at all, but good, and think it very wrong. Hence proceed the afflictions of many people who practice prayer, and their complaints of interior trials, especially if they are unlearned people, so that they become melancholy, their health declines, and they even abandon their prayer altogether because they fail to realize that there is an interior world close at hand. So this interior world, the infinite, the presence of the beloved, actually the nature of the self within you, an infinite interior world that's completely unknown to most people because of the fleeting mind, the moving mind that captures our attention all the time and doesn't allow us to go deeper inside. Just as we cannot stop the movement of the heavens, revolving as they do with such speed, we cannot restrain our thought. All right, that might be questionable, but most of us experience the difficulty of that. And certainly Sri Ramakrishna agrees that, we can't still the thought because of the sense of ego, which is always present, but we can certainly greatly reduce it. And then we send all the faculties of the soul after it, after this busy mind. We get caught up in identity with mind. We want to know how we are, we ask the mind. We want to know how we feel, we ask the body through the mind. And so our entire interaction and existence in the world is in mind and not in self, in soul, which is prior to the mind, prior to thought, a being without reflection, but a being directly. And then we send all the faculties of the soul after this crazy mind, thinking we are lost and having misused the time that we are spending in the presence of God. So this is that deep abiding faith, knowing things that aren't in the standard casing of subject-object relationship. Because the things of the soul, there's an isness to them that's not reflected in the other, because consciousness is not divisible. So this knowledge of self is an implied knowledge. It's an intuitive knowledge because it's not reflected in mind. It's the isness of being. And in the mind, we only see reflection of being, reflected back to us, back to the soul. That's why the self watches the mind. That's how you watch your thoughts. And as we've talked many times, that's the first clue that it is not you, because that which you can perceive by necessity is not you. And here it is in the Christian mystics also, this same idea that the busy mind clouding the presence of the beloved, which gives us that joy, that contentedness, that strength, that equanimity of mind, that's always present but ignored because it's so constant and so still and so tranquil and is constantly overshadowed by the busy, colorful, flashing mind. We have misused the time that we are spending in the presence of God. And yet the soul may perhaps be wholly united with him in the mansions very near his presence, while thoughts remain at the outskirts of the castle, suffering the assaults of 1,000 wild and venomous creatures, and from the suffering winning merit. So you see, there's this idea that this oneness, where she talks about it, where she says, wholly merged with that divinity. So there is that inner oneness. And she says that we might explain it or experience it all the time, just like the Buddhists say that we are enlightened already, we're just unaware of it. Why? Because we're locked into mind, a changing, colorful, flashing, busy mind, and we've built our sense of being, our sense of I, in this mind castle. And St. Teresa is here saying, look, you're already wholly merged with the divine bliss, with God, who is love, who's intelligence, eternal existence. You're already merged with that, but you're leaving all of your attention in the mind with all of its colors and flashings, and in that you suffer. from all of what she calls these wild animals, reptiles, and serpents, by which she means your attachments to things in the world, your hunger for things in the world that don't last, that never give you any sense of meaning, that never give you any sense of satisfaction, but are shallow and fleeting and constantly changing, where your appetites also, you fill one, another void opens, you go, you get more, you need more, you get more, you need more. All the time, behind that flashing, crazy scene of dissatisfaction is the ever-present, beloved soul, merged with the divine in oneness, that needs nothing, that is content and immortal. Find that place within yourself by any practice necessary, and start living in the presence of the beloved, a fulfilled and deep and meaningful life, as you are, not as a religion, but as an inquiry to being. So I just wanted to remind you tonight at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, this is the 1st of October, we will be having a Zoom meeting for anybody who wants to be able to talk back to me, to share any ideas or insights that you have, or just to chat and get to know each other. So that's tonight at 8:30 p.m. It's on Zoom, and the number for the meeting ID or the room number or whatever they ask for when you turn on Zoom for the first time is 822-086-71120. Now, if you didn't get that, rest assured in the description for this video is a link for logging in tonight at 8:30. I hope I see you there.